Donald Trump has told us that his new tariffs are going to benefit us all, that we're all going to be rich. But a closer analysis reveals that it's actually only a select few who are going to be raking in that cash. And it's American small businesses that stand to be the most hurt by Trump's actions. Is it all a scam? And who actually is going to benefit from this? You guessed it, people like Elon Musk. Welcome to Philosophy All Along. I'm a professional philosopher, and I like to use the tools of philosophy to help me understand things on a deeper level. Okay, so there's a few things about this that seem really fishy to me. 3 of them. Let's go down the line. 1, the fact that Trump had promised us that prices would go down immediately. Now, what's weird about that is usually Republicans are the ones coming after Democrats for saying things like, well, we'll just pay a little bit more. It'll just cost a little bit to the consumers. It'll just cost a little bit in taxes. And the Republicans will then point out that Americans are not in a position to be paying any more, that even just a couple of dollars, just a few cents in some cases can make the difference between whether a family is able to stay in their home, whether or not they can pay their rent, whether or not they can feed their kids, whether or not they're out on the street. So the fact that Trump is all of a sudden saying, well, it's just going to be a little bit of pain for a little while, well, that's not what the American people voted for. They were told prices were going to come down immediately. What Trump should have said is, well, prices are going to go up for a while and then hopefully we're going to come down. But when? Now, the second thing about this that has me really worried is the fact that it suggests that the Republican plan for instant gratification has really worked. And what I mean by that is for a very long time, if you look at the history of the United States, there's been this move towards a more consumptive mindset. If you look at the 1930s, for instance, people were really concerned about taking things out on credit. Americans were like, I only spend the money that I have. But because of American businesses working with American government and American media, they started to shift us into a position of thinking, well, we just need to buy as much stuff as possible. Let me get this, and let me get this, and let me get this, partly to get us out of the Great Depression. You can look at old TV shows and you'll see that they do that kind of a thing where the character, usually the wife, wants something like a new washing machine, but they can't afford it. But she convinces the husband to buy it on credit. Well, that was all part of a plan of kind of changing the mindset of the American populace from being, I'm only going to buy what I need, to I'm going to buy everything I could possibly want. But that consumptive, instant gratification mindset really worked when it came to Donald Trump and the election, because he was telling us you're going to have everything you want right now. Oh, these Democrats are telling you you're going to have to wait a little bit for it, but no, I'm going to give it to you now. And so now we have this whole thing where we're being told, oh, that's ridiculous. What makes you think you could have had it? Now you did. You told us that, and it's clearly working. Trump was an impulse buy. And the fact that they have us in the habit of impulse buying wherever we go, now it works for the politicians as well. And they don't ever actually have to do the things that they're saying they're going to do. They can get us to just knee-jerk purchase them. Okay, the third thing that really worries me, that I think really proves that this is all part of a larger scam, is the fact that the companies that are really going to be hurt by this are American small business. If you look at companies like Walmart, they're already trying to position suppliers to go ahead and reduce their costs or to pay for some of this tariff problem. So like Walmart is trying to negotiate and pressure China to reduce its cost by 10%. Well, this isn't something that a small business can do. And small businesses usually work on the margins. Look at restaurants. If you've ever worked at a restaurant, you know, man, they're right on the razor edge. So companies that are larger, right, that are largely franchised, that have lots of different aspects to them, are going to be able to take from one pot, put it in another pot. They have more negotiating power. They have more force simply because they're buying more stuff. They have more wealth. And so the companies that they work with and the countries that they work with are going to be more likely to listen to them and bow under their pressure. So who's really under the gun here? American small business. Who really stands to make money? Well, oddly enough, Elon Musk and people like him. Elon Musk stands to make a lot of money because Tesla is an American company. So let's look at this for a second. The companies that are most likely to do well under these tariffs are large companies. American small business is incredibly under threat. And there's specific people like Elon Musk who stand to make a lot of money off of it. This stands to me as suspicious. We were promised one thing and then we got another. We are all in the position now of being incredibly, let me just purchase everything without thinking about the future. And who is it really benefiting? Not all of us, really just a select few. Could this be part of a larger plan? Well, it would be insane, you would say to me, to try to put American small business out of business. That would be crazy. It would be bad for the entire economy, even for the wealthy. Sure, but here's the problem. Is these wealthy people, these billionaires, these companies, they don't think in the long term. They think in the short term. That's how the stock market works. You go and you buy a thing until you know, oh, now we need to sell it, and you sell it and watch it tank while everyone else loses their money and you wave and laugh. The problem here is people like Trump and the people that he surrounded himself with don't think about the possible consequences for American consumers. They think about things when he says we're all going to be wealthy. What he means is him and a few people around him. He doesn't mean all of us. And he maybe means the few who are going to be lucky enough to survive his plans, the people who are savvy. These people are sharks, and they love that idea. They love the idea that it's a game. Things like the stock market are a game. Competitive business is a game. And if you're savvy enough, you're going to come out on top like me. It's very 1980s, which is Trump's obsession. The final kind of linchpin about all of this is the idea of positional goods. And all that means is my stuff is made more valuable when you don't have the same stuff. Oh, I have the massive TV, but you don't. My massive TV is more valuable then, right? I have something that you don't. You know that you're in a worse position, and my thing is made more valuable that way. And you know what is a positional good? Money. Money is a positional good. When everybody has $100 value decreases tremendously. And this is something that American economists, but especially wealthy people, the wealthy companies, they don't want us to think about and they don't want us to know. They always tell us it can all be part of the American dream, but the way that they construct the economy is one in which there's a reason why they're trying to hoard as much of that wealth to themselves as possible. Wealth that they could never possibly use all of, because as long as they have it in their bank account, we don't have it in ours, which makes every dollar they have more valuable. So the long and short of this is that the consequence is going to be for American small business. And the simple fact of the matter is Trump doesn't care. Maybe it's not his plan to put small businesses out of business, but it doesn't matter to him because at the end of the day, the companies that he views as surviving are the ones that should have survived. These are the same people who say things like, well, if a particular turtle or if a particular polar bear doesn't survive, does the world really need it? Well, they think the same thing about your business. If your small business, if you as a consumer, if you as a citizen, if you can't survive this, well, at the end of the day, that's your problem for not being savvy enough. We're the winners. You should have been like us. All right. Well, if you disagree, pop it in the comments, or if there's something I missed, put it in the comments. If you like this, please like, please subscribe, please share it with 2 other people. It's a huge help for me. Appreciate you taking the time to listen, and I hope you have a wonderful day.